You know what time it is. 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 Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. I am sitting here with my fellow co-host Sean Unfiltered. I know you guys have probably been following him already. You know he's a straight shooter. He holds no prisoners. And today we are giving you another episode of Men Unfiltered. This is where we get to express our unfiltered feelings, thoughts, and opinions. And look, I can guarantee you one thing: you're finna be offended. Okay, keep it true. Yeah, you're gonna be offended. We're gonna keep it true. But we want to create a safe space. The reason why we have this thing is we want to create a safe space for men to be able to express truly how they feel. This is not a red pill space. This is a men's space where we can express how we truly feel about certain subjects and certain topics. And we've also had questions in from you ladies as well as to what you wanted to hear from us. And so we have decided to accumulate some of those questions and answer them as each episode goes along. But today's episode, we are going to be dealing with the question of, what do men really like? Oh, sorry, that's the second question. My bad. First question: what do men want from women? What is it a man is looking for in a woman? We want to discuss that. Somebody asked that. They wanted to know what us men are looking for in women. So we're going to break that down in this particular episode. But before we do, let my wondrous, illustrious guest introduce himself. Sean, go for it. Let them know who you are and where they can find you, bro.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, coach. And listen, glad to chop it up with you. Got started on your channel, on the panels, and inspired me to branch off on my own. So I have my own channel, Sean Unfiltered. Please feel free to hop on over there, like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And check me out. Got some content up and updating content every week. So excited about that and glad to be partnering with you, coach.
Love that, man. Love that. Cap, it's good to have you on here as always, because you're going to keep it straight, and I love that. So we're talking about this question, what do men look for in women? Oh, we've got Onu as well coming in too. That's great. He's coming at the right time. Onu, good to see you, bro. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, bro. We're answering this question, right? This question at the moment. Let me turn my mic here. We're answering this question right now, which is, what do men want from women? What are you looking for in a woman? So if you're going to make a choice and you're going to choose a woman that you wanted to date, what are the kind of key things that you're looking for in that woman? And I'm wondering if there's going to be some tie-ins with all of us having maybe similar thoughts as well. So I'm going to let Sean go first, and then we'll let Onu jump in as well. Sean, if you're looking for a woman, what are you looking for in that woman? Give us one quality and why you're looking for that quality.
So I guess if it's looking for in a long-term relationship situation, which is where you do a little more, vetting in the process of what you would, or what's more important. And I say that because we can compartmentalize. So if we're just in a phase in our lives where we're dating or just wanting to have fun, we might look for something different versus if we're looking to be serious, settle down, and obviously be in a marriage mindset. So I'll go with the latter. And I will say, when you're looking for something serious, for me, the biggest thing is, and we were kind of talking about this a little bit earlier, and it has been a thing, but more important now is, and this is outside of the obvious physical attraction for sure. That's key. But quality wise, it's a willingness to admit being wrong. Right. That for me is something that I've learned is very important. And I don't want to generalize and say that a lot of women aren't or whatever. But what I find is you have women who say, yeah, I can admit that I'm wrong. But can you really do that? Is it on things that it's simple things? Is it something that you really have a hard stance about and you just are dead set on being right about it, but then have a willingness to really come back and say, you know what? I was wrong about that. And we had an experience with someone that we know, mutually, Kojo, and she came back to us and said, you know what? I thought about what you guys said. I revisited it. And I was wrong. And I just find that doesn't happen that often. And that for me is super important, because that's how you're going to have a long lasting relationship. Because one, nobody's right all the time. I'm not. And neither will the woman that, I'm going to be with is going to be right. But if we're so dead set and stuck in that place, like I'm always right and no, and you're going to go to certain lengths to prove your point and you're not listening to the other person, your other partner, yeah, that's going to be challenging, because you're going to always manage in that capacity. And you're going to think your lens is always the lens that right and wrong is measured by. And if you can't see someone else's perspective, even when it's something that's close and personal to you, it's going to be hard for you to be able to jive and flow in a marriage, because there's so many moving pieces, so many things flying at you. So for me, outside of the aesthetics, that is super, super important. I see that. It's like, wow, that's going to, be a dope relationship that we could have.
Yeah, definitely. We did speak about this as well behind the scenes, that we had a mutual friend, and when she did do that, I told her to her face, I said, listen, do you know, I appreciate that. I said, like, listen, I said, I think I said this. I said it made you more attractive. I want you to understand that. The fact that you could admit that, because I know it takes a lot of energy to do that. So the fact that you could surrender your pride, swallow it, come and tell me personally, I was wrong. I don't even want to fight you. I don't want to make it any more than it has to be. I'm actually feeling like, because how it made me feel was like, actually, do you know what? Just because of that, I trust your judgment even more. Because if you're willing to admit that you're wrong in a particular area, I know that if anything was to go wrong in the future, you're the kind of person that would be like, I got this wrong. Let's work on it. Boom, we can move forward, right? And if you don't have that, it is the most hardest thing to be in a relationship with somebody who can't admit their wrongs, right? And before any lady watches this and says, but men don't do that, before you get to that stage, this is a men's conversation. We're not dealing with you women yet. It's us men telling you what we feel. Okay. So if you feel that we do the exact same thing, you wait till we get the women's panel and then you can say that as well. Okay. But we're just giving you our perspective so you get a little understanding from that as well. So shout out to the ladies that are saying they're wrong when they actually are wrong. We're appreciating you and we love you for it. All right. Anu, do you agree with that point? Have you, maybe for you, because this is you personally, this is not necessarily for every man, but for you personally, is this something that you're looking for, or is this something you're not looking for? What's your kind of thoughts on this?
I have to agree with Sean. I think that's definitely something that you're looking for. I think I would call it being malleable, just being able to listen, being able to listen, understand. To me, I think one of the things I was jotting down was like being able to communicate. Like I think when I people just one of the things women say is like, you know what, I want someone that's gonna listen to listen to things that they want to do versus what's going to be beneficial for the entire relationship. And like one of the things I'm learning now is like it takes you need to spend twice the amount of time listening versus talking, but also implementing what you hear. I think sometimes we might say what we want to say, but it's actually putting into actions to what we want to see. So like for me, if you were to hurt me or do something I don't like in the past, I wouldn't say anything about it. It will just fester to the point where like when I say something about it, it's going to be after the fact. And I'm going to have multiple accounts of you doing something I don't want to do. That's a bad, unhealthy way to move forward life because you're just allowing people to manipulate, do things that's going to hurt against you. I've noticed now one of the things I definitely try to do is like, you know what? It's not even triggering. If I just see some one like about being things about being disrespectful or not being accountable, address it when the first time happens and see how that person see what the problem is and how best we can do to find a way solution versus just me figuring out how I'm gonna adapt to certain things. I think that's the most important thing. Sometimes we always reflect on what we can do in order to fix ourselves, but how do we both fix each other in order to become a better unit and also work together. I think like when you start digging it down into that, I think something can be pride like we're talking about, but sometimes it's accountability. Sometimes we just want to be able to do what we want to do and not have that person not be held accountable for it or find a ways to slide the accountability away. I think it's important not just to realize, okay, it's okay to be hurt, but how do you continue to you don't want to continue to hurt other people or fall into the same traps doing things before.
Mm, okay. That's a lot, right? It's a mouthful there, on you. It's a mouthful there. I hear that. I hear that. I mean, taking some of what you just said there. I'm gonna take some of what you just said there, kind of make into a separate point then for this. Then I think to add what you were just kind of saying, for like a second point in terms of what we look for in a woman is somebody who I believe creates safe spaces, because that's what you kind of were kind of alluding to in the end, which is safe spaces. Um and when I say safe spaces, what I really mean here in this particular context is, you know what, allowing a space where I can be vulnerable, and I can share my heart with you without you. And I'm not even going to say being rude. I just want to say without you belittling it. And sometimes it's unintentional, right? Ladies will do this thing where, and honestly, it's not every woman. Please, I've met great women who create good emotional spaces, but I've met some as well that will do the whole, because maybe they're uncomfortable with the safe space. Oh, that's so cute. Like, you're sharing that. Like, oh, I feel so special that you're sharing that. And it's like, I don't want to hear that in that moment when I'm sharing that to you. I just need you to listen. You know what I mean? So I look for someone who's able to really know their way around the safe space, knows how to behave in the safe space, you know, so that when I'm being vulnerable, it's not going to get used against me. It's not about to be a weapon against me. You're not about to make it a cute moment and a Kodak moment for you to take a photo and be like, my man cries. I've always wanted to see my man cry. This is not the moment to do a Kodak moment. I am sharing my heart with you. I do not want you to make it a Kodak moment. I just want you to hear me. That's all I'm asking for. You know, so for me, I'm looking for someone who's able to know their way around the safe space. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about that, Sean? That's point number 2, safe spaces.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, right? Because in that moment of vulnerability, I think, and that just kind of, to me, it goes back to kind of give me what I need versus what you would need. Because sometimes, and again, we both do this, but speaking from the male perspective, when I'm being vulnerable with my woman, I need what I need, right? So what's going to be comforting for me? I don't necessarily need you to grab me, and if we're, you know, together and put my head in your bosom, that I don't need that. I don't need you. If I happen to cry, I don't need you to wipe my tears. I'll take care of that. But what I do need is just the feeling that this moment of vulnerability is between you and I, right? And that you will just listen to me, allow me to express myself. Don't try to correct my language in that moment, because if I'm vulnerable, I'm communicating it in the best way that I know how, and just allow me to get it out. And if you have a question about anything I say, wait till I'm finished. Please don't interrupt. And then, you know, also don't start interjecting your story, right? And compounding it. And I did, and this, and me too. And oh my God, no, you know, I don't want to hear that at the moment. You know, give it some space, you know, perhaps later on down the line. But if it's a very emotional, it's not to say we can't exchange ideas in a conversation, but when you're in a vulnerable space, in order for that space to be safe, you don't want to have a match of comparing stories. And sometimes that happens. Or you don't want your story to be questioned. That's the other thing. You know, you'll share and it's like, well, what did you do? And it's like, if you're sharing somebody hurt you, the last thing that you want to hear is, what did you do to incite that hurt? It's actually re-triggering, and it's like hurtful, and it just makes you not want to talk to that person ever again. So if I'm in a vulnerable place and I'm sharing something vulnerable and open, please don't ask me what my role in it was. This isn't the time for that. Down the line, perhaps depending on what the scenario is, we can flesh some things out, but that's not what I need in the moment.
Oh, so again, thank you, Sean. Oni, what's your thoughts towards that point number 2 that we're talking about, safe spaces? What's your kind of thought in regards to safe spaces?
I mean, I agree with what we're saying. Safe spaces are important. I think trust, for safe spaces to work, trust definitely has to be something that's there. I think for for me for me to have a safe space with somebody, I should be able to should be 100% vulnerable, share certain things, and not be held used against will, even if how hurtful or how misaligned might say. Sometimes when we use negative words, sometimes they tend to hurt. They tend to hurt, but in that moment, it's probably the best way to explain certain things. Like going back to what I previously said, sometimes it's hard to be criticized or be criticized or being intentional with what we have to say. Like in that, it's hard to separate how we feel generally and in that moment. Sometimes in that moment, or we're hurt, or when we're hurt, sometimes we have negative thoughts, negative feelings that we want to get out. Doesn't mean that's who we are. It just means in that particular moment. Sometimes when we have these conversations with women, if we're negative in that moment, it kind of will have a negative impact to the relationship because again, you have those type of feelings at the moment. There's a chance you can heal. You might feel that way before. So it's a lot. I've been in a situation where I had to like to repair the relationship, try to repair the relationship, or try to do damage control. And to me, that goes against to what safe spaces are, or being 100% vulnerable. I should be able to say what I feel without undermining our relationship or what we have moving forward. Just because I might have a negative thought about you or I might dislike something you're doing doesn't mean I don't love this person. Doesn't mean I don't care about this person. I'm going to be with this person. I've been in situations where I want everything to be cool, everything to be right, everything to be 100% perfect. The world isn't perfect. The key thing is you need to find someone that's going to be able to work with you day to day. I hear people like marriage, you have to find a way to love this person every single day, in every single moment. You can't just look at it as like, okay, if I get to 1 year, get to 2 years, get to 3 years in particular, and I'm still with that person, that should be what we look at. Oh, that should be mandate why we should stay together. I think that's what I get from women when it comes to relationships. But with guys, it's like, you know what? Can I trust this person? Can I be fully honest with this person? Can this person have my back? And I'm like, I think for guys, you might not need all that time. Maybe that's a situation or some hardship where you know what, you might not have been the best person, but that person stood by you, and you were more than willing to give that person chance after chance after chance. If you're just going just by it's about going through those experiences and building upon them versus like, you know what, if we can stay together for X amount of time and things ain't going to go too left or too sideways, we should be able to take care of everything. I guess that's the epitome that I'm trying to explain. Hopefully women can see that.
Mm-hmm. Well, give us one of yours before you go. Give us one of your things you're looking for. What specifically are you looking for in a woman?
I mean, for me, one of the things I try to look for is like someone that has a critical mind, exactly what do they want to do with their lives. Again, what they're passionate about, exactly what they want to do, especially when I'm not around. My whole thing is just like, I know I'm passionate about medicine. That's what I want to do the rest of my life. I couldn't see myself doing without that. When I talk to women, I kind of want to figure out exactly what they're passionate about. It could be about their work, it could be about the family structure, it could be about the future. But again, one of the things I try to encipher is this person passionate about what they do on a day-to-day basis, and if they're not, then what are they doing in order to get to those goals? Because again, marriage should be about making each other a better person, a better version of yourselves. And if some people are putting a lot of input in just getting married just for the status symbol, but actually what they're not trying to use what the union means or what the representation of that means. And to me, I kind of feel like, you know, if you're not the best version of yourself, how do I get you to become the better version of yourself? What needs to happen? A lot of people say that this is what they want to do, but are not doing anything or don't know how to do that. And I kind of feel like, especially if we talk about all these shows that we review all the time, and all these people, if you're not in a place where, you know what, you can take that criticism, or you can take someone, hey, give you actual advice that goes against what you're thinking about it, and use that in order to become a better person, what's the whole point? Certain people can be together, some people can't be together. Again, I've been in situations where, again, like Sean was saying, we look at aesthetic beauty. If someone's beautiful, that can't be the indication to be with that person. Honestly, you need someone that's going to be able to, hey, handle the day to day, handle you at your worst, but also find a way to make you better. So again, to me, that's what I'm looking for. Again, what are you passionate about? What are you doing steps to move forward? Because again, if I can't help you become a better version of yourself, then what are we doing this for? Like at the end of the day, money's not going to equate happiness. The type of work, the work that we don't do, is going to equate happiness. We can say if it's for men legacy, then hey, having a family, having children, if that's what's going to make legacy, that's going to drive. Who's going to allow me to do that? Who's going to allow me to have children, but also if I'm not around, it's going to raise my children the way I want to be raised.
Mm. Okay. Okay. So your actual original point was, what are you looking for, women? What specific?
I'm looking for what I'm passionate about.
Passionate about. Okay.
Because again, like to me, it's going to be legacy, and if I'm not around,
what are you gonna do?
Want to know if my wife's going to be able to lead my family, or i.e., my children, in the way that I want to live if I'm not around. So again, if it comes to child rearing, if it comes to educational expertise, if it comes to spending time with relatives, if it comes to, I guess, what views on vaccination, if it comes to
basically your ethos. You want them to carry your ethos, basically.
There we go.
Okay, I get that. Sean, do you have what was your? That's not going to say. Do you agree? What's your thoughts on that in terms of carrying the ethos and having a woman that has passions? What's your thoughts on that?
Obviously that I think that, every woman's going to have something that they are passionate about. I think the thing that I extract from what Onu was saying that would be important for me would be for us to have the same, if not similar, core values, to be evenly yoked, in the sense that we have the same faith, we have the same concept of understanding of what marriage is about. And I think if we start from there, and again, this is just my perspective, especially as someone who's been married and is no longer married. So there were things that I used to value, then I learned, as important as they may be, they shouldn't be primary focuses, because I'm concerned about keeping the marriage going forever, right? If I'm to get married again, I don't ever want to get divorced. And I want my wife to have that same understanding of what's important to keep our marriage together. God first, right? And that we are working together in this and have the same expectations and understandings of our marriage and how that's going to work, right? So I would say, if that makes sense, that's what I pull from that and what means the most to me.
No, I like that. And what I pull from Onu's as well is, I guess legacy building and blueprints, which in itself starts from the top. So if I've done my job correctly, you know what I mean, and this woman is receptive to that, then that should naturally carry itself through in terms of how she leads a family, if per chance I'm not there. But I did love that point. I think, having someone who also, that for me, what I interpreted it from is having a woman who sees the vision you see, you know what I mean? Or at least believes. Maybe she can't see it, but she believes in the vision that you have. Do you know what I mean? And, so for me, that would be a very key thing, having someone that believes in the vision, because, I have been in situations or relationship where the person didn't really believe in the vision. You know what I'm saying? I can't blame him. You know what I'm saying? But I realized that is a shortcoming, and I can't deal with that if I'm going to be in a long-term relationship with somebody, I've got to be able to first articulate what my vision is, and that person has to be receptive to that. Otherwise, why are we wasting our time? You know what I mean? Then we're not going in the same direction. I'm doing her the service, she's doing me the service, because we're not agreeing on the vision in terms of where we're going and what direction we're heading to. So yeah, definitely hear that on you as well. In terms of what we're looking for in a woman. Sean, do you have another one of what you're looking for per se in a woman? What do you would say is another trait or characteristic or something that you're looking for in a woman?
I would say a woman that truly loves a man
Mm,
and loves men. And what I mean by that is you accept men for who they are, right? You're not trying to change me as a man. There may be things that you see in me that need to change or that could be better or different, and that's fine. But women in some instances enter into relationships and see what they want that man to be, and then they kind of measure him against other men that they've had experiences with, and they have a general view from that of men in totality. So I want you to love men and understand that we are who we are, flaws and all, but love me for that, right? Don't enter into it with a mindset of men are this, men are trash, blah 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 blah, and then I have to in our relationship retrain that view based on everything that I do. You know what I mean? So I think that for me is important. I want you to love men and understand that men and women are different, and accept those differences. If I'm making sense.
making sense. Okay, I like that point. Because to have someone who's gonna just love you for you. That's what I'm taking from what you're saying. Having a woman that really just loves you for you. Um, you know, uh, I'm all down for women, loving us for our potential, but you gotta love me for me because what if I don't meet that potential that you're thinking I am going to meet, right? And that's what specifically it is. And I think that even leads back to our original point, third point beforehand, which is what's the vision? Partly that ties in as well because if you're gonna be loving me because you think I'm gonna be that, I might not be that. And I might not even have a heart's desire to be that. You know what I'm saying? So I love the fact you're saying, obviously, love me for me. Love me for what I am. I think I don't know if I can say this. Can I say this? Can I say this? I think us men, when we do get with women, I think we love them for who they are now. I'm trying to think if I'm trying to rackle my brain a little bit and think, have I ever loved a woman thinking she's going to be this? I have, and it was disappointment, and I would never do it again. Okay, I was loving her thinking she's going to change to be this, but no, no, it didn't work, and I won't do that again. I love you for what the moment I see you in now. So I definitely agree with that. I don't want to be loved for what you think I'm going to become. I think you should love me for who I am right now. Love me in my quirks. Love me in my flaws. Love me in my madness right now. And madness does not mean move mad, by cheating or anything like that. It just means move mad in my madness, like my own things that I do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it frustrates you. Maybe it makes you laugh. Who knows? But you love it nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that for me is a big thing as well. Only, what's your thoughts on that? Oh, sorry, you're muted, bro.
We all want to be loved. I mean, I agree with you 100%. I think I don't know what I read. I think men and women love differently.
Yeah.
I think men, I guess you say, like, I think with women they love the best version of you, what they can see down the road. So as women love what men's gonna love what's in front of right now. So again, when it comes to, like, things like I'm thinking like change, when things like changing, like growing older, you know, bodies changing, hair changing, things like that. You can tend to see how men, if they're into aesthetics, that falling out to play. And I think what Sean said earlier about not trying to just fall into how a person looks. And I think for the most part, I think most of the men I talk to, or most of the men in general, yes, looks is an important factor, but it's not the only. It's not the only factor. I think agreeability, the ability to get along, ability to work together is probably seen as a more character traits of an actual wife, and those are things you typically look for. No one wants to. When I'm listening to you guys, like, no one wants to argue. I don't want to be argumentative. I don't want to have to feel like I'm fighting the world at home. We talk about safe places, but at the same time, it's like I shouldn't have to be on guard with my woman. That's one thing. If I have to do that, like again, I've already told myself, like, you know what, I'm just gonna check out because again, I've been in multiple relationships in the past and I've seen that not work. I know it's not gonna work in the future. I think what we're seeing, like what I see, especially with my guy friends now, things, the way we approach dating in high school and in college is very different than what we look when dating or even talking to women that we're pursuing is different than now, and it, you know, being argumentative, being defensive, being some not are things that are going to allow make us walk away. We're going to do that a lot faster versus just staying away because hey, that person has a great body, has might be well, might do what you want to do in bed per se. It's like what can you do in order to help that person build their legacy? How are you agreeable? What type of what you can do together as a team, as a unit? Those are I think that's I mean that's what matters most, especially the guys or the men that I talk to.
Yeah, I'm hearing you on that. Hearing you on that. As well. Like I think, in this regard, like you were saying on as well. Like I think women do tend to look at us and look at the future and stuff, and they see us there, and then they kind of want to fall in love with that image. You know what I mean? And that's why sometimes disappointment be hitting. But I think for us, especially, like I said, I think I want to reiterate the point as well that, love us for us. If you don't love him for him now, there could be disappointment down the road. Honestly, ladies, leave us alone. Okay? If you can't love us for now, leave us alone. All right. I'm always telling men, leave the woman alone. If you can't, I always say this as well. If you can't afford her, leave her alone, sir. Okay. If you can't afford her and her lifestyle is too much for you, leave her alone. Let her go and let some other guy deal with her. You can't afford her. And the same thing for women too. Please, if you can't love us for now, but you're trying to envision us as Obama in the future when we haven't even given you Obama, we haven't said that we're going to try and be an Obama. Don't love us for thinking we're going to be there. Just love us for now. You know what I'm saying? Right? And actually, when you love us for now and we improve and take it further, you're going to be healthy. You're going to be happily excited. I'm not saying that we don't have growth. I'm saying in the sense of if you're overshooting the estimation, you can always be doing yourself damage, man. Do you know what I mean? Because you're overestimating where you think we're going to be. Do you know what I mean? Rather than working with where we are right now, and even conjoining with our vision. That's why you should love a man who has vision. That way you don't have to overshoot it. He's told you where he's going. He's projected it. No difficulties there. Do you know what I mean? I think another one of the last kind of points we'll make on this question before we answer question number 2, on what we're looking for in a woman. I think for me personally is the heart of a servant. And I know someone's going to take this wrong, but don't take it wrong. But what I'm saying is, I honestly, I want to serve. I want to serve, but I also want you to have that servitude attitude. Because if one person's got it and another person hasn't, it is a very deadly, toxic mix ready for you to be abused. Okay, right? You're going to find yourself in a place where you're giving, and you're not getting much back from that person. And I won't even blame them per se, but you need to make sure I had to make sure I'm also choosing correctly. But I'm looking for a woman that has a heart of a servant, that wants to serve me. It's not an expectation where I'm having to, you know what I mean? Like I said, Sean, like you know as well, like let's say you come home, and I'm not saying this is the actual example, ladies, before you get trashed, before you get a little bit excited. You come home, bro, right? You've had a hard day, right? And this time your missus like, listen, I know you had a hard day, babe. Listen, I've run your hot bath. I'm making a wild example. I'm not saying that has to be this. And she says, run your hot bath. Now, maybe you weren't even feeling to go and bath right now, but the mere fact that she's thinking ahead to say, look, I know you've had a hard day. I just wanted to make it a little bit easier. This, that. For me, it's massive, right? Because you're being proactive and you're thinking, how best can I make sure your day's cool? Even if you know what I'm saying? Like, and I want to do that for you too. I have that same heart to want to make sure that you also, if you're, I want to be able to see, okay, maybe she's feeling a bit stressed today or something's going wrong today. Let me make sure I can make it a little bit easier for her. Do you know what I'm saying? I want that heart of a servant, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, that's what I'm looking for, man. Heart of a servant. What's your thoughts on that, Sean, to what I've said, man?
No lies told, bro. Like there's nothing better than that, right? And we have a rough day. Sometimes we just have a rough day. Sometimes it could just be things weighing on us, and we don't always know how to process and handle that stress. So, whatever that may be, you see that I'm down, you say, you know what, there's something you wanted to talk to me about. It's a little stressful. You're like, you know what, I'll hold off on that. I'll put that to the side and I'll see how I can help you. What do you need? How can I help you? Do you want to talk about it? Like, I think that attitude, that mindset is super important. And obviously in a marriage, like you said, we are submitting ourselves to one another and serving one another. But that willingness to do it and looking for nothing in return. And I want to say that I've seen this happen. I have. I've even experienced it in times and spaces in my own marriage and relationships, right? So it does happen, but it's that willingness. And sometimes I feel there's instances where women, they have a wall up about doing that, and they feel like it makes them weak, or they feel like, well, you need to be doing that exactly what I'm doing for you. And it becomes this back and forth. But that servant's heart, that servant's attitude is so endearing. And I don't want to get into the masculine, feminine, but to me, that is the ultimate femininity. When a woman is comfortable in that space. Like I've even seen some of my, like I'll go to visit my close friend's wife, and his wife, when I come, she's like, what do you need? We have everything set up in the guest room for you. We've got the soap you like to use. Is there anything you want? This is your favorite drink. We got it for you. Like that is like, and I'm going to my, my boy, I'm like, your wife is dope. Like that, because that's an extension of how she treats him. So when I come in, it's family, and she's like, what can I do? And it's like, come on, there is nothing, there's no better feeling than that. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? And it's not one-sided either. So that for me, what you said, it just resonated a million times. That is very important.
Yeah, for you on that, Sean. I know, what's your thoughts?
You're getting biblical on us. I mean, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, and I think what I'm seeing. I guess what I'm seeing in these spaces now, a lot of people are like, what, I'm only going to do husband things or husband wife things when I get to that status. When we get that status. But the key thing is, like, if you want to be a wife, you're going to show us why you're quality for being a wife. So again, I don't think it's like playing house, but I do think it's about making other people around you comfortable, just like Sean has to say. If there's ways to do that, it doesn't have to be like, have to be entertaining somebody at home, but just could be like, hanging out, let's say going out to a social event, hanging out with friends. Like how do you engage or talk to other people that you don't know? Do I feel that you're going to be at ease when you're around my friends, around my company? Like I've been in places where, like, what, I'm not going to bring my I fear bringing my girlfriend around people, my friends or people I work with, because I don't know how she's going to react or act too. And to me, if that's the case, if I feel that way now while we're dating, how's that going to change when we're together? And I kind of feel like I hear that, I guess, in the man space, people try to say that, but I'm like, okay, what type of qualities are women that I'm pursuing showing me to say, like, hey, you know what, they're going to be excellent as a wife, or be very good as a wife, versus not to do so. And again, if you're defensive, argumentative, I feel like people, you don't get around with other people. I'm gonna be like, you know what, I'm not going to invest and spend more time into that. And if I do, it's only going to be indicative to me. It's going to prevent me from finding someone that, it's going to actually fit in, actually someone I could build with.
That's bars. I hear you on your bars. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Sean, you want to add as well? Go for it.
Yeah, another example as Azono was talking, I was like, okay, this is another one. Is that if you're out to, you're out at either a family function or you're at your friend's house and there's food being served, is your woman going to fix your plate? Like that to me is a good marker, right? And I've been in spaces where women are like, "Well, you can fix my plate." You know what I mean? Like you'll get hit back with that, and I'm like, "Really? Like really?" But those moments when we're out somewhere and I've been with a woman and she immediately is, "What can I get you? What do you want?" Man, I don't know if women understand when they bring down that wall and they operate in that space of doing an act of service for a man, what that does to us. It really brings down our walls and makes us also kind of view them in a different way, similar to the example we shared earlier, where we had a friend of ours who was able to admit she was wrong about something and then came back to us and said that. It just does something to us. It just disarms us, and it's almost a power. If women truly understood and listened to that part, there's a power in that. So yes, there is a meekness, or there you're giving of yourself in that act, but it's also power in that because it just does something for the person. It makes you feel so good. And it's not to say I want to be chauvinistic and beat my hands on my chest, but there's nothing like my woman who is open to embracing and serving me and feels no way about doing that type of act for me.
I'm definitely hearing that, bro. The fix me a plate thing is real. You understand? It's real. It's real. And I want to even, because I think we spoke about this on a live the other day as well. We were talking about obviously women saying about they wanted men to take out it's almost like an expectation. They expect men to take out a bin, right? And it's now making me think, okay, cool. So you want me to take out a bin? I want you to fix me a plate. It's like where both genders have, and I wouldn't even say it's an expectation on my part per se, but I like it. I would love it to be done. Do you know what I'm saying? And some of the women did say that as well. They would love for their bin to be taken out. So they weren't saying it has to be done, but they like for it to be. And I think that is a key language we need to start using when we're talking about these particular things, right? Because the expectation word creates so much drama on both sides, right? I'm expecting you to fix me a plate now. Now I'm vexed you didn't fix me a plate. Now you're vexed because I didn't take out your bin. You know what I mean? And then it creates an unnecessary argument when all it needs to be is expressed that, like you just said, you explained it so beautifully, Sean, and also Ono explained it as well, is that when you do that, my walls come down. I'm actually ready to do whatever you want. You fix me a plate, you've got the food, or whatever. So, babe, what do you want? I'm feeling good. I'm like, what, babe? You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about good men here, ladies. I know you probably fixed a plate for some really crappy men. They need to go out. Okay, don't worry about them. Okay, we're talking about good men that are gonna treat you right. You know what I'm saying? When you fix us a plate, we feel excited. It's like, babe, I appreciate that. And I'm ready to do whatever you want. At that point, I'm ready to do one. And I want to say also vice versa for me. I'm seeing when you say you like the bin to be taken out, I'm also taking out because I know it makes you feel good. And when we use that language as to why you want me to take it out because it makes me feel this or makes me feel that, I think we have a much more productive conversation in terms of what you want the man to do, which is why I think a lot of times we have that whole argument about what's the value of a man, because the word expectation, I expect a man to pay the mortgage. Well, shoot. When you put that expectation right there, then the fight comes in. Well, I expect you to be in the kitchen then. It's like, bruh, see, now everyone's getting techie. The wording and the language we use is so important to make sure that we can almost coax people into this without it becoming you're engaged in it. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. But yeah, I don't know if anyone else has their thoughts around that. That's what we're just saying. No? Sean, you have any thoughts around that?
No, I think I like that you framed it that way because it's the back and forth that kind of happens, and I think we all are guilty of it. So I think, to your point, the way we position it means so much more, right? And then both of us being willing to do things that each of us want from each other, right? And just looking at it that way and not looking to match up what I want versus matching up what you want. And it has to be an equivalent, because it's not, so I like that for sure.
Banging. All right. Cool. Let's move on to question number 2 then. It's a bit more heavier. If you just join us for this live video, well, it won't be live for you guys, but it'll be a video you're watching. Listen, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads, because we appreciate you guys. But we're going to talk about question number 2. This is Men Unfiltered. If you haven't watched any of our videos before, this is where we get to express our unfiltered opinions from the men's side. Okay, we're going to say some stuff that's probably going to offend you, but it's in love. All right, so don't take it too hard. Okay. All right. Question number 2 we're going to talk about. And this, by the way, if any ladies listen, because I already know what's going to happen. I can already see it now. I'm going to get some inboxes from people saying you out here being a Kevin Samuels. I got asked this question from a woman. So this is not my question. Women asked us as men to answer this question. So before you wreck yourself, check yourself. This is the question we've been asked, okay? Question is, do men really like women with no makeup? Do they like women with no makeup? They asked this question. So before you write a long ass paragraph in my comment section, we will ask this question by women. Do men really like women with no makeup? Is that the key? That's the question they're asking here. Onu is already touching his ears as if he don't want the smoke. Since he done that, I'm gonna ask him first. Onu, what do you think? Okay, you give me your answer, bro.
All right. I do not want to answer this question. Do men, women? I mean, I think the word of the question, I'm not sure if it's clear. So,
Okay,
do men prefer women without makeup? Yes. However, this is what I want to say. Men don't want surprises. So most men don't want surprises. So if you use makeup there's different degrees to it. So if you're becoming a different person, or I find like, you know what, you're using it to be something artificial or not genuine, I think that's the thing. I think kind of men kind of wants to stand off from it. It's not that we're against makeup. It's just like, what is the purposes for? I know. So if you're someone if it takes you 2-3 hours to put on makeup, put on your face in order to come out, again, there couldn't be a way men will look at that. I think if you're trying to say your natural state versus something in like the fashion world, something in the fashion world or something else, that could be a problem. For me, like I'm getting used to skin tones, but I'm not sure why someone needs to put on, let's say, light blue or purple eyeliner to their face when they're either black, white, black or white, etc. And if you're asking that, I see where people come with that statement. Me, again, being honest here, your natural state kind of matters. Like, I want something that, you know what, it can be easily replicated, something that's not going to take me, it's not going to, like, I have to wait an hour before you're ready to go out. Hopefully that answers the question.
When they cancel you, I'm not involved. This is Onu's thoughts alone, and Onu's thoughts. I'm not involved. I think what you're talking about, let me make it cleaner. You're expressing a preference. So your preference is not for the blue and the purple eye shade. That's a preference. I get that. Oh, your mic's on.
I mean, there's levels to this. Again, I'm not against makeup, but the whole point is there's a threshold line. If you have to cross that threshold line, i.e., it's going to take you 90 minutes before you get ready, then you're going to start using random colors that don't in the color spectrum in order to go out. Like, again, like, you know, hey, I don't know what to do here. Like, again, I'm not appeased by that, but again, some women, that's what they makes them feel normal to them. If that's the case, then again, I'm gonna be opposed to that. Now, if you're using neutral tones, if you're modest or with the makeup you use, I think that's reasonable. So again, if you're trying to say, are men against all makeup? No. But what are you using to do for? Are you trying to become, if you're in a transformation, or like, you know, you're making yourself another person? I feel like if it's two or multiple people, then again, that could be to me that could be to me it's problematic. Like again, I don't know what to do in that situation.
let me clean it up for you. What you're saying is, it needs to look good. That's what you're trying to say. It needs to look good. I think that's what you're trying to say. If you're gonna put on that makeup, it needs to look good.
It looks good, but again, there's a fine area. Like, there's overdoing it. That's the key thing. Well, once you overdo it, then I don't know what the hell. I can't help you there.
If they cancel you, I am not involved. If they cancel you on me, I'm not involved. If they cancel you, I'm not involved. I'm here for unfiltered thoughts, but I
answered the question. Like I understood this.
It's about to be fire at this moment. Honestly, it's about to be fire. Sean, what's your thoughts on this question? I know it's phrased.
Ono usually has the balance,
But he went all
and he just came with the heat and the fire. So I don't want to leave you on the hill dying alone, Ono. So I'm gonna try to kind of. Coach tried to, like, I definitely hear what you're saying, and for certain, there's some colors that probably don't match, right? So I think aesthetically, we want to see a look that looks like it coincides with the person that we're looking at, right? We want there to be consistency, right? So blue eyes, maybe not, a preference for us if you're wearing contact lenses.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, so if you have contact lenses, the colored contacts, it's because it's not who you are, right? And the same for us as men. What you see is what you see for the most part. And if a guy is trying to do too much, I mean, we don't have that much wiggle room to fake it, to figure things out, to try to be something that we're not aesthetically. So we want you to be the same. Whomever you look like is who you should look like. And when that said makeup comes off, there shouldn't be a drastic difference between what you look like with makeup on and without makeup. And then there are the extremes, right? Some of us like it, some of us don't, maybe the long, extensively long eyelashes, right? Or, the drastic colors. It's probably a lot. And I would say women wear makeup. So to say that I expect a woman to not wear makeup, I'm really minimizing my options, because it's a very small population of women that walk outside and go out to different events and functions and wear no makeup at all. It's just not a normal practice, right? So I think, like, I do understand that women will wear makeup, and I'm fine with that, just as long as it's not packed on so heavily, whereas I can't see you behind. I can see the makeup. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's like it is just visible on your skin. It is super, super heavy, right? Those types of things, I think, is when men may say, I don't want a woman to wear a lot of makeup. It's like, I shouldn't know off the back. Like, I run up on you and it's like, whoa, I can see everything. It should be subtle, nice, and, not over the top. And again, this is just our aesthetic view. I know women like to play makeup. They like, the look of it. They like to, if there's an imperfection on their face or something, they may want to cover that up and things like that. I get it. Like I said, I was married. I saw it all, the makeup bags, top with everything from mascara, all that stuff. So I do understand women wear it, but, I don't necessarily want to see it on top of your face, right? Sometimes we see, like, people had jokes on Donald Trump because he looked orange with that, whatever the heck he had on, whether it was a spray tan or whatever. It's like, you shouldn't be obvious like that, where it's like, yo, that's not your color. Like, that's like, it looks wavy. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
So you're saying it needs to be done well, basically.
Yes, thank you. You got me there in a very concise manner. I was stumbling and fumbling out here.
It should be done well, ladies. That's what let's say. Anu, did you want to jump back in, because you made a comment in the private chat? Did you want to say something?
And to just my view is, you know what, I'm gonna bring Sean to me. Like, I think I'm gonna go down my own. But I'm just like, if you have to get crazy with it, that's the thing. Like, if I'm not saying no to makeup, but we have to get crazy with this. And again, I feel like, you know, it belongs on the New York Met Gala versus, you know, going out to dinner. Then again, like, what are we doing here? Just as long as we don't get crazy with it, it's modest, you know, it's presentable. I don't think we're gonna have a problem with that. If once you get out the door, I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna experiment. I'm gonna do things. I'm gonna use hunter green. I'm gonna use pink. I'm gonna use these sky blues again. Like, I don't know what you want to do here. It's my hill. I'll die on it. So
please down it alone. Hey, ladies, listen. Oni is choosing to down this hill alone. If you want to get him. But listen, as for me, listen. My preference. Let me preface it. It's my preference. I actually don't like makeup. If I'm honest with you, I don't like it. I actually like your natural face with Vaseline on. I'm honest. And I've dated 2 girls who didn't wear makeup. So before anyone jumps on my neck and starts saying, you don't date anyone, I actually have dated 2 girls like that. So, you know, I personally would prefer it not to be that way. Am I going to cancel you because you don't wear makeup? No, but I'm going to be I would first be looking for the girl who doesn't wear makeup. Do you know what I'm saying? For me, there's something about that, like you were saying, Sean, that there's this, there's a realness to that, right? Which in the sense of, listen, I've got no beef with the makeup. You can wear it all you want, but I love to see your natural face. I like to know that's your face every day, all day. You understand? You know me? And, you know, I love the vulnerability of it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're now in a world where makeup is so widely accepted, so widely done. I love the vulnerability of seeing you without the makeup stuff, right? You know, and I get it. Women are using makeup to enhance themselves. You know, they are changing themselves, contouring noses and all that kind of stuff. Eyelash. I got no beef with that. Do you know what I'm saying? Me personally, as a preference, I would choose that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's really interesting because I've said that before, and I've been attacked for saying that. I've been attacked. They'll be like, so why do you want to go with no makeup? I'm like, whoa. Whoa, when you want a 6-foot dude, I'm not saying anything. Please leave me alone. I just want to go with no makeup. That's what I would prefer. But again, I wouldn't cancel a girl who did wear makeup. My last girlfriend did wear makeup. I didn't have no beef with it. But the more time I spent with her, she never had makeup on. And okay, so if we're gonna say that, let me branch off and ask that question, which is, let's say for instance you do wear makeup. I can't deal with a girl who wants to wear makeup every single moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only time you don't wear makeup is when you head into bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I if you're not comfortable in your natural face with me, I'm gonna be a little bit concerned because I'm questioning that. I'm like, where's the confidence? Your face is beautiful. That's why I chose you. Bear in mind, men choose physicality as well. I think your face is beautiful. I think you're amazing. I think you look good. Believe in your face. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for me, that's why I would take it in that particular instance. I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in there.
I would say too, because sometimes when I've been in these conversations, sometimes women aren't clear. So I think when you say no makeup, you mean like on the face, right? Are you not opposed to a woman like if she wears lipstick,
yes,
and
fine,
things like that? Yeah. Okay, so and that's why I think sometimes women just get so like, whoa, what do you mean? So we're not talking about those subtle things or lipstick. We know women wear lipstick, lip gloss, all of that
is not a problem as well. You know,
it's the face, it's the stuff on your face. You know, foundation or whatever you want to call it, and then sometimes yeah. So that stuff. Just for clarity for the ladies.
Just for clarity, yeah, because it's not an attack. It's it's a preference. So the question was asked, and we're stating a preference. Do I believe that's all men? No. Some men really do love the makeup play. Listen, some men eat it up, ladies. There's enough men to go around who love makeup, enough men who don't love makeup. There are so many men for both. Okay, so I'm not going to polarize the conversation and make you shook as if we're saying that it's a scarcity if you wear makeup. There are loads of men who love your makeup face. They love it. They will eat it up. They'll buy you the mascara if they need to themselves. I'm just saying, me personally, as a preference, it don't rock for them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oni, what were we gonna say? You opened your mic.
I think my explanation has been very clear. I'm not sure if there's anything else. So just
The hill that you chosen to die on, boy. I can't wait for December when this is released, boy. They are gonna chop you up before Christmas, boy. You are gonna be on the wish list for hunting. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I love it. Cool. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just got a message. Okay, I got a bonus video for you guys. I'm going to show it to you guys on a bonus video. I want to get your review, on this particular video. So I'm going to show you the video. Okay, I saw it on her channel, her page the other day, and I was shook off. She comes from 8 on the table. If you ever seen her on there, Danny, very beautiful girl, full figured, just looking sweet, but the mindset for me is a problem. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a video and I want to get your thoughts on what you think about this video. So let me add this to the stream. Okay, let's add this. Hold on. Before you go anywhere. Hold on. Okay, let's get the sound up. So this is a bonus video, guys, we're doing for you guys if you've got this video. So we're talking about this particular video, which is going to be, it's on Instagram. It's by Danny Deuces on Instagram. She's part of the 8 at the table. And she put out a video saying every woman should cheat on their boyfriend to see if he really loves you. Okay. Now, the thing is already mad when you have a caption like that. But I want you to listen to what she's going to say and see if you actually agree or you disagree.
I believe that every woman should cheat on their boyfriend or their partner before they get married. You cheat on him because you need to know, sis. You need to know if this man really loves you. If you cheat on him and he doesn't leave you and he stays with you, he still want to be with you, he still want to build with you, he still want you to have his kids, he still want to pay your rent, you got yourself a winner. Because you need to know if this man is loyal. Is he going to stand behind you for better or for worse? You need to know these things. When things get hard, is he going to be there? You need to know if this man can forgive and forget. Most women cheat before they get married anyways, let's be honest. And most men be lying anyway. You need to know if y'all can hold each other down when things get hard. And on cheating, don't ever stop a man from loving me. For real. You're not going to stop loving me because I cheated. And I'm not going to stop loving you because you cheated. We're going to figure this shit out together. On God. I believe that every woman should cheat on their...
Did you guys hear that? Could you hear it? Did you hear the sound? Oh, you heard it. Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah, sorry.
I heard it, but I didn't hear it.
Now, I want to preface this. I don't know if this is because I saw another woman do another video similar to this, but I don't know if she's doing there's a challenge that might be going around. So I'm gonna preface it to the audience. This might be a challenge that I think is going around where women are trying to reverse the roles and how some men talk about cheating. So she may just be playing around. But I've heard some of her views on 8 the Table. This wouldn't be far from what she said. So that's why I'm taking it a bit more serious. But let's say she was being serious. What are your thoughts on this particular video?
Yeah, it's a no for me. It's definitely an absolutely resounding 1,000% no. Like, you cheat on me, I'm gone, and that's it. There's no negotiating. It's not a test. Don't test me. I don't want to be tested. I won't be testing you. Don't test me. And those scenarios just sound ridiculous, because intentionally going about hurting somebody or doing destructive things in your relationship is toxic. So you are going into your relationship either with a willingness to hurt your partner and hoping that hurt will get an opposite result, which is for them to trust you. So you're doing a negative to get a positive. So you think a negative is going to drive to a positive result in your relationship. And then she even said, so the argument is flawed off the top, because the first thing she said was, if you go and cheat on him and he leaves you, then he wasn't for you anyway. Okay, but what if your argument is wrong? So that woman has now cheated on a man and now lost that relationship, right? And if that woman wanted to be with him, she no longer can. And now she's got to go on to the search of finding another man, right? And if she doesn't learn the lesson from that and she still thinks that it was just him that was wrong, but not her, then she's going to do that same cycle. And guess what? Most men, we can't get past cheating. You know, we can't, it's a very difficult thing. And even if we stay with you, it's a tough thing. I mean, this man's not staying. Some might, you know, but it just causes a very difficult fracture in the relationship. So yeah, that is toxic for me.
Only, what's your thoughts?
Tricks for kids.
Care to expand?
This is some foolishness right here. So I just want to get this straight. If I'm a, okay. I don't want to use. I'm not trying to get Kevin sandwiches here, so I won't use high value. But let's just. But if I'm a respectable young man who is looking to marry, the only way for you to verify if I'm a respectable young man to marry is to do things that's going to show me that you're not someone I should be involved with. So if you need to step out, if I'm giving you every reason to show you that I'm a suitable partner for someone to be married, why do you need to step on a relationship to figure out exactly how I'm going to react? And if you're going to step out the relationship, for me to continue a relationship, you want me to continue a relationship in a positive manner that's going to make you feel safe and protected while you're doing the buffoonery of inviting somebody else into our space. To me, that makes no goddamn sense in the world. 2, don't bring God into it. God don't like ugly. God don't like stupid. If you want to play those games, stupid games, get stupid prizes, tricks are for kids. Be all means. I know for me and my household, we ain't gonna abide by that. I'm just saying, like, I don't need to spend money on a woman who I know is for the streets.
I'm with you on that. Like I said, I want to preface it by saying I think this was part of TikTok thing where the women are trying to change it on the men having this type of mindset. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you know, I bar the person who's talking, just talking about the actual you know, content of what the person was saying, you know, they're saying, listen, you need to be hurt before you realize how long you can actually stay in this relationship. You need to be hurt before you know longevity. And I think that's a flawed logic, you know. And how much hurt should I take before I know that this is gonna be a long-term relationship? You know, we don't want to be promoting struggle love here, as women like to say, right? We don't promote struggle love in the sense of you being in a relationship just for the sake of being in a relationship. You know what I mean? The person doesn't even love you if they're going to keep on cheating on you and staying in that relationship and trying to drag it out. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is not a way to find out if someone really, really loves you. The way to find out if someone really, really loves you, like I said, is to show lovable actions. You know what I'm saying? And it's consistency over a period of time. And someone cheat on you and stepping out on you is not a way to go. You know what I mean? It's not the way to go, man or woman. But me personally as a man, if a woman had that mentality, yeah, I'm gonna be at the door. Okay, I'm gonna be at the door because I don't need to be around in that space. That's a negative space to be in. I'm asking to die an early death. That's basically what I'm asking for. And I'm asking to be Hosea in the Bible. Because obviously, evidently, you want to be the woman that runs around the town sleeping with different men. I'm not here to be Hosea. Okay. That's for biblical times. And that was for a purpose, or to show Israel what they're about. I don't need God to tell me again. You understand? He's done it hard work for me. You feel me? So yeah, a bit of a mad one there. But yeah, any last thoughts on that, guys, before we wrap it up?
I would also say when a lot of these things like this go viral, right? And some of this stuff is actually true because we've seen, you know, whether it's content creators or other women on social media spaces or just people in general giving advice, and that advice is generally toxic or negative or damaging things to your relationship. Look at the source. You know, look at the source. Are they in healthy relationships? Are they in healthy marriages to be able to give you advice from this space? You know, run that past a therapist, a couples therapist, and see what they would say about that kind of advice. They're counseling married people all the time. Get your information vetted is what I'm saying. So you know, if you're getting advice from somebody, a friend, or you're seeing something across the social media waves, vet that information, right? Don't just take it at face value. Run it through some sources before you you know, go out there thinking like, okay, men are doing it, I'm going to do it too. You know, talk to a friend of yours who's in a marriage, right? A healthy marriage that you know of, and ask them what they think about that. How does that sound to them? I would say that.
Good point. Go on, Ani.
Don't try to divide or multiply by 0.
Huh? Say that again, Ani.
Don't try to divide or multiply by 0.
Wow. It took me a second to catch it, but it makes sense. The answer is 0. So don't do it. Good points. Good points. But let me let my guest. I know, Sean, you have a channel, so please let me know. Please let the audience know where they can find you and how they can follow you and your great content.
Appreciate you, Coach. Yes, you can find me on Sean Unfiltered on YouTube, Sean Davis 120 on Instagram. You know, love to chop it up and talk about relationship, social commentary, pop culture, faith. I got content up on my channel and dropping content on a very regular basis. And you know, from time to time, you definitely will find me on Little Black Book is my home. So appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you too, Sean, man. So much love. Anu, what are you saying,
Yes,
brother?
sir.
You got
Well,
any
thanks
projects
again
coming
for
up?
having me. It was definitely lovely talking with you guys. Definitely learned a lot. Thanks for Sean. Thank you, Kojo. I'm on Instagram, Onuamadi MD. Look for me there.
That's my guy. All right, audience members, thank you so much. You know, we appreciate you guys joining us for this great time. If you've watched the live and you've enjoyed, like it, share, and subscribe. Share it with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm guessing this is going to come out of Christmas, so make sure you have a very good Christmas as well. And also have a happy New Year, because I won't be here. Okay, I'll be in Ghana living it up. Okay, so y'all gonna have to hold it down when I'm away. All right. So I appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. Much love. Okay. Peace. Do do do.